start recording video. We did it. We did it. Now here comes audio, and it starts in 3, 2, 1. Nope. Sorry, the commercial didn't play. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Thy quest is to crush Death Adder's evil henchmen. Seek wisdom from your Sega hotline and face thy destiny. Golden Axe, 'tis mighty serious fun.
Oh, it's mighty serious. That guy was convinced me.
Yeah.
He's convinced me.
No, he sold me. I'm done. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to Play Retro. I am Scott Johnson, one of your hosts, and I'm going to take the dwarf no matter what you say to me. He's short, he's scrappy, and his beard smells like bread. Let me golden axe you a question. Are you ready to side scroll, fool?
Fool, run, you fools. And I'm your other host, Brian Dunaway, and I'm ready to wield my battle axe that is not golden and take on Death Adder himself because he's bad, okay? Killed my dad, okay? Right after I boot these little Nomi thieves with their magic potions and meats in a bag. Come here, you little jerk. Taste my boot. Taste it.
Taste your boot. Taste the boot in the meat bag. Yeah, we're here to talk about Golden Axe
right in
today.
The meat bag.
I don't know if this is even that obvious. Usually our intros are kind of obvious what we're talking about. We're talking about Golden Axe, okay? Arcade.
Well, you said Golden Axe you in your intro. So okay.
Oh, I did. I forgot. I totally did. But we got Golden Axe Arcade, we got Golden Axe Genesis, we got Golden Axe returning to the arcade, we got Golden Axe right up the wazoo, as my dad would say. So get ready.
Yeah.
Open your hearts and your minds to some Golden Axe
Stay
talk.
tuned as you learn where the wazoo is.
Well, it's your bumhole. That's where it is. I'll tell you right now.
Spoiler.
Hey, we got a couple of things to go through real quick. So I found a game that I have to recommend. I talked about it on Corbett just briefly. I think it's worth bringing up here because it is so uniquely aimed at the kind of players that we have on Play Retro. And this is a game called Bat Boy. And it is the most like freaking 8-bit looking.
Wasn't that on the Sega Genesis?
No, as far as I know, it's brand new and never made before, but it may as well have been.
Oh, that's Acrobat.
Yeah, you're thinking Acrobat. Bat Boy is you're a dude with a bat. And you run around NES style, very 8-bit looking and everything, and you get a bunch of extra tools and abilities as you go out throughout the game. But your main goal is to hit things with bats and also use the bat in some other creative ways. It's very hard. It's a very difficult game. Easy to pick up, hard to master kind of game. And I got completely hooked on this damn thing. It is so much fun. It's like, you know how Shovel Knight isn't just a throwback. It's like painstakingly a throwback. You know what I mean? Like, they're not cheating. There's no shortcuts. They're not doing some stuff that you couldn't do in the 8-bit era. This is a bit like that with one exception. There's some parallax scrolling, which is not really common in the NES era. However, beyond that, though, the color palette, the sound effects, the music, this thing is 8-bit as hell. And if you like games like Shovel Knight, which I mentioned, which is a more modern example of that, or if you liked games back in the day like what's Mega Man? So I was going to try to say
Mega Man's that's a good one.
Yeah, if you played a lot of Mega Man, this game owes a lot to Mega Man. I think the developer even says as much. It's super inspired by it. And you kill a lot of pigs, which is cool. I'm into killing pigs. And
stupid pigs.
Yeah, you do it with a bat. It's a fantastic game, Brian. I cannot recommend it
with
enough.
A bat. Do you do it with a wiffle ball bat?
You can do it with a wiffle ball bat.
On the run?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the cops got your gun?
Yeah. And this is like $14 is all. It's cheap. And
nice.
Big game, lots to do. They have outfits, so there's some stuff in here that you'd never see in the old days. You know, like changing costumes and that shit. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here that you'd only see in a newer game, but they've really stuck to the motif of the 8-bit thing. The boss battles are great. They're doable, but you have to work at it. And then when you figure it out, it's really satisfying. There's save points. So you want to be careful and not die in dumb places. It's all that stuff. And it feels very lovingly done in that regard. So big recommendation for this.
What is Bat Boy trying to accomplish? Nothing. That's right. It's a game.
He's trying to kill pigs and swing a bat, save the world, I guess. I guess those ththings. I don't know. Who knows?
Is his head a CRT?
No, it's just a helmet.
Or is he in like some kind of space suit?
Well, it's like a little baseball-y hat. If you see it from the side there.
Oh,
I agree. It's a little helmety, and it looks like it's
I
the
see.
color of his body.
I see it now. Oh, I thought I think it's like the baseball hat has like some kind of LED readout on the front of it. I
No,
think
that's just
what
like
it
his
kinda
little
looks like.
team,
No?
whatever his team may actually
Love
be.
it.
I'm not even sure.
I love it.
But I don't even,
Super cute.
I don't even know what else to compare it to, except I just know when I play it, I'm like,
Awesomeness.
retro people want to play
Yeah.
this game, so go play it. It's
They
really
want
good.
to play it. I'm down.
Brian, what'd you get up to this week? What's going on?
Oh, hi, Scott. So, the week I got the C64 Maxi, and that made me want to pop out my real Commodore 64. But the only problem is you have to have, a floppy disk drive. That's too much trouble. So I ordered this cart here that plugs into the back of the Commodore 64. It is called a Kung Fu Flash, and it allows you to plug in an SD card right in there, and then you can plug that into the back of your Commodore 64 and play it just like it was a cart. You also can plug in the most recent version, which is the one I got, is the one that allows you to plug in through micro HDMI. And so you can do that straight from your computer, transfer files directly onto there. And I'm looking forward to playing some Vigia games on my Commodore 64. Also got like this cool little video adapter thing too. But Kung Fu Flash, thank you guys in the community who suggested that to me, because I was considering getting my old 1541 hooked back up and ordering some floppy disk, and then remembered, oh yeah, I don't have to.
It sounds like Kung Fu Flash sounds like a game,
doesn't
it, or a cartoon?
It does. It's like I just love saying Kung Fu Flash.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you what it does.
You could have lied to
in
me.
You
could have lied to me.
Exciting way.
You could have said, "Hey, remember Kung Fu Flash on Saturday mornings in 1985?" and I would have believed you. That's what.
They were always kung fu fighting, and they were fast as lightning.
Fast as lightning.
It was and there was a dog.
Yep. They were like a brick house and all that. It was great. Well, anyway, I don't know why I brought
great.
that up.
That's
But
what I've
anyway,
been doing.
that's great. Look at you messing around with the C64
Yeah,
universe.
look at the old 8-bit system. 64-bit has the OG function keys where they're supposed to be, and I'm very excited about firing up the real deal. Also ordered a power supply from a Commodore 128, but whatever.
What does that entail? Is that hard to do these days?
Well, no, it's really super easy to order a power supply for a Commodore 128, and then you just plug it in. And those power supplies were, maybe a little finicky. So were the Commodore 64 versions. So
yeah.
But now we don't have to worry about it.
No.
Yeah.
You're a man.
I never wax nostalgic for my power supply. Right.
No.
That's not the important part.
No. There's
I
nothing
remember
about
the old power supply that used to get too hot.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that.
It's like my arcade machine from my dad that I'm going to gut, and I started the process on. That thing is not about what's inside that I care about. I don't care.
No. I miss almost dying every time I touch the CRT.
Yeah, that's coming out of there as fast as I can get it out of there, and then I'm going to replace it all. But
Right.
what matters to me is this hand-built wooden thing he made out of nothing. That's what matters. The guts of it, who cares? So I'm with you. Screw it. Who cares what the power supply is? F that business.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want some clean power. Is that so much to ask for?
No.
Don't blow my caps. That's all I'm asking for.
No.
Jeez.
I think that's fine. You're the EPA and one. You're like one man EPA. I love it. Be you.
Environmental. Yeah.
Penile agency. All right. Well done, everybody. Let's dive into the golden axe of our lives here, which is this game. And I'll play a little audio to start. Yeah, baby. You know what I love about this game is it starts very early with the FBI warning, and it reminded me that there was an era where every arcade game had the FBI warning. I don't know if that's still law or not, or if the FCC requires it. I have no idea.
I was curious about that when I started playing this week, and I never got a chance to go back and look. But yeah, the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, not the Federal Booby
Installers. Yeah,
anyway,
Federal Booby installers. Yeah,
so,
those guys are busy. But
yeah,
yeah.
But they used to come up on the arcade games, and I was trying to figure out if that was regulated or if that was just like some, hey, we know y'all are mad. We'll put something. We'll rate our own games and we'll put some warnings.
Yeah,
I think come get us.
I think it was mandated, but I can't remember what the thing was. And the winners don't use drug stuff and all that. Let's see, because some of it was
Nancy Reagan's thing, right?
Yeah, some of it was anti-piracy and some of it was don't do drugs. But let's see here. Okay, arcade games imported by the American Amusement Machine Association, the AAMA, in North America from '89 to 2000. The slogan appeared during arcade games attract mode. And startup, let's see, the messages are created from the FBI and was developed by director William S. Sessions, whose name was alongside it.
And he put his name all over it.
He did, yeah. It says, Sessions was dismissed from the FBI in July of 93. The slogan was attributed to the FBI director until the campaign was phased out in 2000. So it was a mandate. I don't know if it was a law thing, but it was definitely mandated.
Right. Right.
Whatever that means. So
what a weird thing. I mean, we were still in a time where game programmers and developers didn't get to put their name on it, but here he is right at the front of it.
Yeah, right up front,
right
dude.
there in the
right up front and in your face is what that guy got. Check this out. This sound of death in this game is great. Isn't that amazing? The way they die. Oh my god!
Was that an axe battler taking an axe to the forehead? What happened there?
It was bad guys dying. So he's real good at, or in this case, I think it was the lady, the Amazon. Who did it.
Tyrus Flair.
Yeah, Tyrus Flair, which sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah. Is it Tyrus or Tyrus? I always say Tyrus.
I'm gonna say whatever we feel like saying. We should say. That's what I think we should say. Oh, look at
Tyrus
the little goblin!
Flair.
Get that goblin! Woo! Okay, here's the thing about the goblin. This 100% Blizzard ripped that goblin off and put him in Diablo. I am telling you.
You're talking about Gilius Thunderhead?
There's no the little goblin that she
the little
chases.
Gnomes.
Yeah, the little gnome guy.
Yeah.
That is a treasure goblin. That is straight up mechanically and visually and all of it. That is a Diablo treasure goblin, and I think that is freaking funny that they got that from this game. I couldnn't find. There they are
trying
again.
to figure out if I want to call him a gnome or a goblin because he seems like a gnome to me. He's small.
He's gnomish.
Hood.
Very gnomish.
Yeah.
I mean, gnomes and goblins deserve each other. They're all bullshit, those things.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about this game. So we're talking about this one, classic side-scrolling beat-em-up arcade game known as Golden Axe, set in medieval fantasy in the land of Uria, which is actually a term for
urethra?
No, it's from your pee. There's a thing called Uria that is from your pee, but I forget what it means or what matters. Anyway, you choose from 3 heroes. Axe Battler, the Barbarian.
Yeah.
His name is Axe, A-X, Battler, or Battler.
Yeah, not Axe like you would think it would be, but more like Axe, A-X,
Yeah,
weird.
like Axe body spray.
Yeah.
And then you got, as you said, Tyrus Flair, I think is how you say it, the Amazon. And then you have...
she's cousin to Ric Flair.
Then you got Gilius Thunderhead, the dwarf, which is...
name.
He's my go-to. I like the dwarf. Big fan.
A lot of people like the dwarf. He's a well-balanced character, very powerful.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, and they all have magic abilities. You put your quarters in, you fight dudes. I will say something kind of funny that I found in this playthrough. I played both the arcade and the Genesis version, and Brian, boy, did they censor a thing. So at the very beginning of the arcade one, no matter who you pick, the girl, in this case, because that's what I was doing for the video.
Right.
She pops out, or before you even see her, you see what looks like either a peasant or something running the...
Alex.
Yes, Alex. Alex is running to this side of the screen, and he's got crutches. He's going, oh, shit. And he's just like barely moving. He's got blood all over him. He's got like a bandage up here, and he's all taped up in different places. And one of the bad guys comes up and goes, conk, conk, like hits him 2 more times and then leaves. And then right then you run up and go, Alex. And then you say, Alex, what's wrong? And Alex goes, and dies.
Right, dies right in front of you because you got to have something to fight for, right?
You do, but the arcade game had no problem with that. The Genesis version doesn't have it. Instead, it has her. If you pick her again, she walks into screen and just says, "I have to go save people from the bad guy, and my friend Alex even died for it." But they don't show any.
My friend Alex died.
They don't show any Alex death in it, and I think that's freaking funny that they took it out.
I think it's hilarious, and I'm with you. I noticed the same thing. And is Alex not the most put upon character in all of video game history? Poor Alex.
Oh,
he's just like his whole use case is to just come out, get slaughtered, and be a reason to fight for, which is weird because if you wait for the attract screen to come up, it'll show you like a demo of the gameplay, and it will give you the characters' names and a very the shortest of bios, which essentially says that they lost a family member to Death Adder, and that's why they became the warrior they are to fight.
Yeah, that's exactly
and
right.
And plus Alex.
Yeah, and here's the Alex bit, so I saved it. So when he comes out, I guess he's a soldier. Okay, I'll pause it there. Look at him. He's on crutches. You can see this, right? You see it in our
Alex. Oh yes,
in our thing. Okay, so you see him walking.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't even need to show it to me because it's burned into my brain.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to remember.
I started over.
So he comes out here and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get swiped twice," and then she runs up in her underwear apparently because she's barely wearing anything, and she says, "Alex, what has
not
what
all
has
of them
happened?"
except for
Well, the dwarf's pretty dressed. He's wearing a lot of clothes.
Yeah, that's true. Axe Battler, the Barbarian, and Tyrus, the Flare, the Amazon. They're both scantily clad. Now, Thunderhead, he lives underground probably, so he has to. He's got to dress for the weather.
Yeah, I get it. He's your typical dwarf.
Damp.
But look at her, Alex. What happened? And then he dies. Well, he explains some stuff, and then he dies. It's very brief though. In the Genesis game, you didn't get any of that. You just got told that somebody named Alex died. There's no other reference to him. They don't show him.
No.
I think they were afraid kids at home were not ready for this kind of violence. So
they're not ready for this amount of blood and guts. Yeah, I didn't know why they took it out either. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought surely it must be a memory thing, right? It's like, we need to cut something. Cut that out.
Well, they certainly
don't need that. Also, cut out that FBI warning. Don't need that either.
Yeah, they sure spared all expense in the sound department on the Genesis version, which we'll get to in a minute. Oh my gosh, dude!
I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride for a minute. I'm gonna let it ride for a minute.
All right.
I'm gonna let it hang in the air. What you just said.
Okay, when we get to the Genesis version, I'm gonna ask you to defend it,
right?
Because it's trouble.
All right,
and I'm not happy about what they did there.
Okay.
But anyway, the arcade game is the one I probably have spent the most time in my life. Since then, when I would pick up an old game or whatever, I usually would gravitate to the console versions. But I put a lot of quarters in this game, and me and my friend Dan would just pump our savings into this damn machine. Oh, look at these goblins again! Look at these little guys. Just kick them, hit
goblins, and if you're not watching, you're just listening to this. The goblins are little. They're little creatures that are about knee height, and they come out in between fights as you're going through this hack and slash beat 'em up, and they come out and if you hit them, they drop potions or food. Food gives you health. The health is related is shown by 3 life bars, I believe, on this one.
Yeah, if you're playing Diablo, they come and they dump gold and special weapons and items and gems while you chase them and hit them. I'm telling you, they ripped it off.
Right,
Blizzard owes them some money.
They really, I absolutely they did. And then if you hit them, otherwise they'll drop magic potions, and you have a magic potion bar, and each of the character has the ability to wield magic in different ways. Flare, the Amazon, she has this fire wielding dragon thing that she can pull up if she's fully charged on the magic. So you've charged up your magic all the way. Otherwise, I think it's just a firebombing or something like that.
Something
but yeah,
like
if you power it all the way up, that's one of the things that's really unique about this game. Besides the fact that it's in a time when it was a bunch of street fighting, a bunch of all that, like Double Dragon. Everything here was pretty much a motivation by Sega to create something that was going to take that success of what Double Dragon was having, and then bring it to arcades.
Yeah, they were, and I think they did a really great job of capturing it. I think the Golden Axe is, in particular, of as far as like side-scrolling beat 'em ups, it's up in the top 3 or 4 for me. I think it's really well done. I mean, it looks like, I'm looking at it now and it looks a bit like a turd on a plate, but
well, you're close. I think what you're watching right now is an Amazon on the back of an eagle, but is probably closer to the turtle thing.
Yeah.
So there is, like, when you're advancing through this game, you end up going from bleak looking woods that have burned down, or just old dead woods, and then you get to ride on the back of a turtle for some reason and fight. Yep. But it's all very organic. You don't even notice it if you're just at the arcade just futzing around, you may not even notice that you're riding on the back of a turtle until suddenly you see a big old turtle eye looking at you.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
Yeah, why would you know right away?
Turtle.
Only time I've ever known.
Why would you even know? I mean, the story tells you right there in the text, but I'm not here to read.
The 2 or 3 times I've been on a turtle's back, I didn't know until the eyeball showed up. So I get it. I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, this is weird. This is all slippery and stuff. What am I on, a turtle's back?
Have you ever finished Golden Axe, like gotten to the end and fought Blackadder or whatever his name is? What is it again? It's
so great.
Death Adder.
Blackadder, right? That's good. Yeah. Later on, there's Death Adder as well for the Genesis version. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, there's no Blackadder. I
but
screwed that up. That was just me messing up. I was thinking of the TV
That's
show
Black-
Blackadder. Yeah. But Death
Oh,
Adder.
no, you're right.
Yeah,
No.
Death Adder's the only guy you fight, or he's your ultimate bad guy, as far as I know. Right.
Well, at the arcade, right?
Right. What do we do at home? Do we
At
have
the
other stuff to fight at home?
Oh yeah, on the Genesis version, we have an additional to Death Adder.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's
We
he
do,
called?
yeah.
After
We have-
Death Adder? Or,
Yeah, we
Birth Adder.
Death Adder.
I want to fight. I want to fight Birth Adder. That'd be cool.
Birth Adder. Yeah, he brings no. So he's Death Adder's boss. Is this? Oh my gosh, I think it's what is his name? Is it?
Oh,
It's
there's
not
the
Black.
bird.
It's Death Adder, and then there's oh my gosh, I was so going down another path, and now I've totally forgotten what his stupid name is.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
the
It's
question
fine.
that at hand was, Brian, have you ever completed Golden Axe?
Yeah.
I had only played Golden Axe the arcade maybe once or twice tops. I had it on the Sega Genesis, and that was my primary experience. And eventually, yes, I did go against Death Adder, but
Nice. Look at you.
that's not the end.
No, I'm sure
But
there's
that's
more.
not the end.
I'm sure there's more.
on the
Absolutely.
Genesis.
By the way, my favorite thing we're watching right now about this game, it make great use of I'm going to steal your dinosaur and ride it for 10 minutes mechanics. And a lot of games had something similar to this. It was like, well, they had a motorcycle, but now I have the motorcycle or whatever. This one's great because it's like, okay, there's like a dragon dinosaur raptor that the bad guy was riding when he came in here, but I have knocked him off of it. I now sit upon it. That beast is mine, and I will now fight for as long as I can before I get knocked off with said dinosaur.
And get back up again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Look, more
So
gnomes.
this game very much with the moves kind of reminded me like of almost like of a wrestling game. There was just so many great genres just kind of rolled up into one for me, and riding stuff was one of the things that really appealed to me because there's levels of mounts that you can ride as you go through. The
Yeah.
first one you may recognize from another game called Altered Beast. It's these turkey leg mofos with that you jump on. They have a saddle, and it reminds me a lot of like is it Wizard? Is that right? Why am I everything
Wizard?
feels wrong today? Yeah, Wizard. Remember that movie?
I don't remember.
Wizard?
The Wizard or
Wizards?
just Wizards? Is it-
No, Wizards movie from the 70s.
Yeah, is it-
Wizards movie.
was
You know
it
what I'm
called
talking
Wizards?
anyway.
I don't remember.
Wizards,
I have
what it's
no
called.
memory.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they ride like that joust-looking, turtle-looking.
Oh,
leg thing, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. That's not called. Wait, what is that?
The movie's called Wizards. I definitely know that, but I don't know if Ralph Bakshi.
Bakshi, yes. Wizards movie. Bakshi. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Yeah, you're right. It's called Wizards.
Am I having a stroke?
It does look. It does look like a what do you call it? A joust type thing, but it's not even a bird. What is that thing? Here, look. I got it. I got a picture of it. There.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
See-
Anyway, that to me is the epitome of what we were seeing in a lot of fantasy stuff.
Do you see it here? Look at this. This is the one, right?
Peppered throughout.
Is this the one? This is it. You looking at my
Yeah,
screen?
that's the one.
That's the guy.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, looking at your screen. Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
That's the one.
I don't think I've ever seen this. I should see this.
Oh, you never seen this? Oh, we should totally watch Wizards. It's amazing.
Is
It's
it?
really weird.
Why has it
and
got a
amazing.
big swastika in there,
Well,
man? That's a movie I haven't seen. Jesus.
Yeah, we need to watch it.
All right, Film Sack, or if we don't do it for Film
Film
Sack, you and I'll do a watch along or something like that.
Oh, that'd be fun. I think that'd be an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Fits right in here with the Play Retro. But yeah, back to what you originally asked. I only ever did it on the right on the swastika. It's Nazis. It's Nazi fantasy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't
Which-
know, but look at this guy. Look at him.
But
He's cool.
you're covering. Oh, I love this guy. Oh, all that stuff was just so good. This game is definitely inspired by both Conan. Makoto Uchida was the developer on this game, and he was on the development team for Altered Beast, and so he's bringing some really good visuals to this game.
Yeah,
And I want more of that. And you kind of covered what's going on in the background, which is the reward you get at the arcade.
yeah.
If you're at the arcade and you beat this game, the best thing happens.
Mm. It gives all your quarters
characters
back. All the quarters you've spent are yours again. No. Okay.
No, if you beat the game, something magical happens. If you ever watched Dungeons and Dragons, the animated TV series
Yes.
from the 80s,
Back in the day. Yes.
remember how they were like they were sucked. They were like at an amusement ride, and they got sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, right? And they started role playing, and that's kind of how that goes. And they're always trying to escape. So it's Gilligan's Island in Dungeons and Dragons. They're always trying to get back to the real world. And at the end of this game, if you beat it, then all the characters from the game pop out of an arcade game and start running in the real world. So does that mean we were in the system all along? Were we tronning it?
Oh my gosh.
Did we get sucked into the system?
I don't know.
Only at the arcades that happened.
But now that you've said that, it makes me want to question everything,
Right.
I like that.
But
I didn't know that.
The ending. What a great reward.
I didn't know that. Most of these games have terrible endings because they don't expect you to finish them, right? They expect you to run out of money first. And so you just never see, like X-Men. I beat X-Men finally in Vegas because we had it on free play at that bar we went to.
Oh,
and we got to see the ending. And it's dumb. And it's a total waste. And really, it just starts over and is harder. And that's it. So
that's usually usually the game ending is no ending. You just start over, do it again, faster, harder.
Yeah, all that. And that's what it was. And I was really disappointed. So it's actually kind of cool to hear about a game like this that gives you some kind of cool reward at the end or something more than just start over.
And it's beatable, right?
Yeah.
It's something that has an ending. What a great thing to do.
It is a great thing to do. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Now, if you jump ahead and you think, that was successful, good job over there, Sega, what are you going to do now? And they say, well, we're going to take it home. We're going to put it on the Genesis. Don't you worry. It's going to be awesome. Might have the worst sound effects in the history of the planet, but we're going to do it. I'm
always curious because I know you don't always, especially when you do ports. I know you don't have, you like me, you don't always have time to play all of them. So you may watch some video, and it may be the version of the Genesis that really sounded like ass because it was it a Model 1, was it a Model 2?
Well, it's definitely a Model 1.
I'm always curious.
Definitely a Model 1.
So give me
this thing comes out in 1990.
Give me the worst.
Here's what it sounds like. It's bad.
Give me the worst. Oh no, that sounds great.
No, it doesn't. Okay, listen to this part coming up.
Yeah.
They actually cut the music out to have the guy scream. They stop music because they don't have enough damn memory to overlap them. Stop the music, have the guy go, and then have it come back. Fantastic work, Genesis. Well done. Whatever. I'm giving it too much of a hard time, but it's...
I'm gonna defend the Sega Genesis version, even though it was not my favorite version. Because there's so many great versions. But I'm gonna defend the Sega Genesis version, which pales in comparison to the Sega 16-bit arcade board. It's nothing compared to that, right?
Right.
It's a 16-bit home system, and they're trying to bring it home, and they're trying to keep these very rich backgrounds and environments and keeping all the animations. And this is a 16-bit wonder. Really, it is. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I agree with except for the sound. Everything but the sound looks great. Like I respect them for, they don't have a lot of idle animations, but the actual walking, swinging combat animations are pretty good.
Which is the heart of this game.
Yeah, it's the heart of the game. So that's what they stuck to. I give them credit for that. I just think it's unfortunate that in 1990, Genesis hardware, and I love the sound of a Genesis. We've talked about this on the show a bunch of times. I like the music. I like the weird ass freaking clanky garbage sounds it makes. Like there's reasons to enjoy it from a nostalgic point of view. And it definitely set itself apart from, say, what Nintendo was doing. However, the music in this one and the sound effects.
Like 2 megabyte.
Abysmal.
2 megabyte card.
2 megs?
Is that right? I don't know. I'm trying to remember if it was a 2 megabyte. I was trying to remember what they were. Let me see. This is early in the Genesis life. What year is it? 1990?
This would have been 90, when it came out. Let's see if I can get some audio out of this here. Listen to this.
Yeah, old mix. I mean, that's a little muted, but it's not terrible, right?
Oh, it's pretty.
It's 4 megabit.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm not going to defend the sound.
Same size as Mega Drive, both being 4. So it's a 4 megabit.
Yeah. I mean,
megabit.
Look, you're going to have you'll have a good time with it. You'll spend 60 because that's what I spent. It was expensive.
It wasn't cheap.
No, everyone complains about prices of games now. We were a lot less like set on prices back then. It was like a lot of Oh, will this be 40? Will this be 50? Will these, you just never knew kind of.
Yeah.
But,
That for inflation, baby.
Boy, they sure kept her mostly naked, though, didn't they? Damn.
Well, I mean, yeah, which, I mean, if I'm all muscly, if you've worked that hard on your body, I think you should be mostly naked. Why put clothes over something? I mean, come on, Axe Battler. He's practically naked, just got a little loincloth on. Man, if I was that ripped and cut, I'd be allergic to shirts. Get it off me.
I would never wear anything on. I'd wear a little Speedo to hide my junk, and that's all I'd ever do.
That's it. What's the minimum I can get away with? Yeah, let's do that.
Fair point. But all that stuff aside, I'm not going to complain too much because I actually do think this is a really good port, and it was about the only way you were going to get it back then. You didn't have other choices. They weren't porting it to Nintendo. This is where you got it.
That's funny because Sega, this is a time, so when this came out, Sega in Japan was having a different battle than we were going to be exposed to later in the US. Sega was trying to compete with Nintendo, who was starting to, look like they were starting to leverage some power in the home market so they could then come back to the arcade where Sega was ruling and then cause havoc. So Sega was like, oh, then we need to take it home to Nintendo. So that's what they did. That's how all of this kind of started, was Sega going back and going, we're going to put this on the Sega Genesis, sucker. We're going to have some systems.
Yeah.
And I think the PC Engine was actually was doing better in Japan at this point. And so we got one over there on the PC Engine, and it sucked butt because Sega didn't do it. They let somebody else get in there and do it.
Oh, I didn't see that. I got to look that up. That was a PC Engine.
Oh, dude. It was a PC Engine one, and it was not a good port. But we'll talk about the good ports real quick. The Sega Genesis one being the de facto for me for nostalgia purposes. And then a very good version of 8-bit Master System, Golden Axe. You could only play as Axe Battler, but you could choose your magic power. Yeah. So you could choose the stone or the fire or whatever the hell Axe Battler used. You could choose between the three.
His shirtless visage. That's what he used.
Yeah, his power pecs. Yeah. I don't remember what it was. But so the Master System, I was surprised. It's also a Game Gear version, which is usually just a zoomed in lesser version of the Master System. So kudos on Sega being able to port that.
This PC Engine version one is really ugly, dude.
The PC Engine one's it's not great. If you get a chance to look at the PC Engine, they kind of NEC, what were you doing? They kind of sucked up. It's a really tough game to port at this time.
Yeah.
We know that the Sega Genesis was really good at rendering sprites quickly.
Yeah.
And so it really benefited from that, because Golden Axe is really all about that badass animation, those 3 punches that you get to do with your character, and then you get to pull a special move, throw somebody, knock them on the head a couple of times, whatever this cool ass move is, or when you get to drop all those magic potions and the whole screen just it just kills everything on screen. Those are the things that really sell this game, in my opinion. And ports were varying. Amiga looked great.
Yep.
I think the animations were a little bit stilted and the movement was kind of slow. The Commodore 64 version was I suppose, for an 8-bit computer system.
Yeah, Master System looked about like that. It was okay. Ugly. It was all right.
Yeah. Master System moved fast. I was glad they kept the animation and the fast movement. But otherwise, I mean, not bad, Sega.
Let me show you what
ports.
Let me show you what sold the sequel the most, and then you'll look at it here. These people. Look at this artwork, dude. Look at these guys. Do you see this? Are you looking at Zoom? Where are you looking?
Oh, no, I'm looking at Zoom right now. Yeah. I'm seeing it. It's gorgeous because they really went all in. That first cover art was okay, but man, it got real tan.
Yeah, real dude.
Quick, right?
Look at the dwarf's all bronze down there, looking like he's been out in the sun. That was so stupid.
I mean, was this after Dolph Lundgren did our He-Man? Because I mean, the first one obviously a nod to Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I mean, Conan.
Let's see. Dolph Lundgren was 87, was it, that he did?
Okay.
So it would have been before.
To that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Let me just make sure that's right. Is it 87? Oh my gosh, his Wikipedia is huge.
Yeah.
I
They were
would,
definitely going more towards the bodybuilder look versus the fantasy, you know.
yeah.
I got these muscles from pushing a wheel for 20 years and thinking about my dead parents.
By the way, this is what he looks like.
That's what all fantasy is.
Yeah, that's what it
What's
is.
that?
This is what he looks like in 1990. This is a picture of Dolph Lundgren. Look at that. That part in the middle is serious. That's serious.
Oh,
doing some
yeah.
heavy
Oh,
lifting.
jeez.
Yeah.
Look at that chin, baby. He's
Yeah.
such a chiseled man piece.
Yeah, he's sexy. Is what he is.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
look at
Dolph
me.
Lundgren. That era Dolph Lundgren. You know what I like even more? Old Dolph Lundgren. He's my
Yeah,
favorite.
the fact that he's managed to not overall to be a dick. That's an amazing thing.
Well, that too, but there's just something about him being as huge as he is, like height wise and stuff, and just all
Right.
I don't know. He like him and Arnold aged like a fine wine. They look great in their old age.
Yeah.
I freaking
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
More Dolph
I love
Lundgren in
it
my
too.
life, please. Oh my gosh, who are
More
these guys?
Dolph Lundgren. Look at those perfect teeth too, man. Jeez.
Who do you suppose this is? Hold
Stop
on.
being so handsome.
If I can
What's
get it.
that?
I'm trying to get this thing out so you can. There it is. You tell me who's he hanging out with there? Who is that? Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. It looks like somebody from some rock band or something. I don't know. Is it
Like
Guns N'
Poison?
Roses or
Like Poison,
Right.
right? Like
I don't know. I can't quite tell. They're just they've got too many glasses on. They've got big giant glasses. Oh my
it's
gosh.
Matthew Pritchard. Who's that?
Matthew Pritchard.
Hold on. He's
Matthew Pritchard. He's
an
Go
athlete,
ahead.
professional skateboarder. He's Welsh, a stunt performer, celebrity chef.
okay. Not who I thought it was.
Best known as the star of
Celebrity chef.
MTV's UK's Dirty Sanchez. I don't need to know more.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know
all right.
anything about that shit. I don't know what that is.
That is terrible. I love it.
Yeah.
I want to see it now.
We've learned some things just now.
We've learned, and we may be better for it. I can't say for sure.
I'm pretty sure we didn't or aren't, but let's pretend we are. Hey Brian.
but one thing,
yeah,
one
go
last
ahead.
thing about the Golden Axe ports. If you got the Sega Genesis version, you did get to continue on. They added some. They didn't just make a port for it for home. You did lose out on the music and stuff a little bit, like you mentioned. But they added on some extra screens and including an additional boss to fight. And unfortunately, they cut that cool ass ending from the arcade where you see everybody piling out of the arcade machine. But
Oh,
totally worth it.
that's too bad. You know, that's the best part of this damn thing.
That's the best part. That's the reason why I even play. That's the reason why I dump my stupid quarters in there.
Yep. Well, now you dump them into a pile and then spend them on the Genesis for Golden Axe 2, the reboogening or whatever. Here it is.
The reboogening.
Let's take a look at it. Of course, this is another Sega product, and
Sega.
it picks up the story where it leaves off, sort of, and gets right back into it. Dark Gould. That's who it is. Dark Gould is the other dark guy that you were trying to think of, the name.
Dark Gould. Okay, I knew it was Dark something.
It's him. It's this dude here. And you got to fight him and his freaking Minotaur helper men.
Minotaur.
Yeah.
Minotaur.
Golden Axe 2 and I never connected. I didn't play it back in the day. I looked at it.
Yeah, me either. I've never played this until this past week. I knew nothing about it. There was 2 sequels to Golden Axe. Sequel in the arcade, which is going to be in the worth a mention, because I would love to save it for a full episode later on. But this Golden Axe 2 Genesis from 1991, I never really played it. I don't really know anybody who's talking much about it. But it's definitely it's definitely a sequel.
It's definitely a Golden Axe game. They're making a new one, and we have no idea what that looks like yet. But I have a lot of high hopes for whatever they do next. I'm excited about it.
I know Sega was announcing things they're going to bring back, and I think Golden Axe is one of them. And more importantly, in what I'm excited about is continuing the weird ass storyline in a cartoon.
Yeah.
That they're getting a 10 or 11 episode cartoon that's supposed to be coming out in the near future, probably 2025. And I can't wait to see what dumbass voice acting they have for these muscle bound dorks.
Do you know if it was like anime style or is it like what's it like? The style
I'm assuming that is the style of the moment. I'm assuming it will be that. We'll see when we get some screens of that coming up. But yeah, that's what I'm assuming it's going to be.
Now
I'm pretty excited about it. But
yeah, go ahead.
If you like Golden Axe 1, you're going to like Golden Axe 2. It's just a continuation of the first. The story is the same. You still pick the same 3 characters. I always love the select screen, by the way. We haven't talked about that in on the arcade version and on the home versions. You'll always have a skeleton presenting you with
characters.
2 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the character select screen, which is like 3, and usually they're like you can rotate them until you select the one you want.
Yep.
The arcade was 2-player, even though it was 3 selectable characters. With the arcade as well, with the 2-player, I'm not sure about the home version, but you could kind of like remember how we used to play Joust and you're playing together, but not really because you could accidentally hurt somebody. Same with this game. You're no friend of mine.
Yeah.
If you're on screen with me in Golden Axe.
Hell no. Here's that image, by the way.
Here's damage fine.
Here's your player select. You just do it like this. See
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh, I love it. I love seeing that. So that death is presenting you with your hero.
Yeah.
What a great little mood moment before
it's
you get started.
90s Sega bullshit going on. I love it. I absolutely love this image. You know what I love about it the most is the dwarf looks like Link if he grew up to be a bearded, cranky, axe-wielding psychopath.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, he does kind of have. He's got kind of like, it's like somebody put some horns on a Link outfit, right?
Yeah.
That is smart.
Makes me laugh.
But you say that's who you always played, right?
I like the dwarf. Yeah, I did. I liked the
Yeah.
dwarf, and I would sometimes play the big dude. I rarely played the lady back then, but I actually had more fun with her this go round.
She's got the strongest magic attack.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can feel it too, because when you're battling, when you're playing as her, you will notice that it takes more hits to defeat the enemies, unless you're riding on the mounts, and the mounts do the same damage, whether they be tail whips or dragons who are throwing fireballs out of their mouth or breathing fire. I see Scott's got some more awesome cover art pulled up again.
So this is the OG,
by the way,
the original Genesis cart.
Yeah,
the original Genesis cart is ridiculous. I'd like you to look at, like, this is pre-AI, but look at this arm and this hand. Yeah. This is wrong. This is effed up.
This is wrong. Is it Liefeld is what you're saying? Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at the four. Wrong. Yeah, look at it. It's like foreshadowed wrong. The hands bent out weird. It's like wrong. This is bad. But anyway,
look at the Commodore. I sent you a link to the Commodore 64 cover, which I think is just the coolest.
Let's see, where is it? Did you put it in? Oh, you probably put it right here. Yes, you did. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's also for the Japanese DOS cover too. It's just some Fabio looking dude with some badass claw tattoos on his chest, and it's a big golden axe.
Yeah, and it's using that weird grid thing Sega loved to do on the Master System for their art.
On Master System,
so ugly.
That made its way a little bit into the Genesis covers. You would notice that the covers were typically black, but it was an inverted version of that grid paper thing. But it was usually like in the background. It was usually like they still rode with it.
Yeah.
But I think that if you get to look, I think the Atari ST cover was 16-bit computer was really one of my favorites. I really like that.
Here's
one.
Here's a Master System screenshot that'll give you a taste of what the Master System was all about. Hold on.
Yeah,
it's not moving, but you get the idea here. They did a pretty good job.
It moves.
Yeah, it does move, but I think they did a pretty good job. Like the pixel design is not bad for an 8-bit thing. Yeah. You know, it's all right. I have the hiccups I don't know why. That's great. You know what's great when you get hiccups while you're doing a podcast? It's amazing. You know? Let's see if water works. We'll try that first. If that doesn't work, Brian's going to have to scare me. Hold on.
Right. Ah!
The combination of you screaming and me drinking has stopped my hiccups from coming back, I hope.
Has cleared it up. So back to Golden Axe 2.
Golden Axe 2.
If you like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Golden Axe 2. Let me ask you a question again.
Golden Axe me a question, Brian. What do you got?
Right. And this time, if I'm remembering correctly, because I played it as much as I could this week, you're still doing the same thing. You're heading after Death Adder, or in this case, what'd you call it? What'd you say his name was? Butthole Adder. Wasn't Black Adder, which I
already forgot. It's like Black Oldar, gold,
Black Goo. So anyway, you're heading after
they were just watching us. You guys will tell us.
Yeah. What was the point? Where was I going with that? Anyway, it's a continuation, but this time the city folk. In the first one, it's a lot of fun I love almost all the animation in both of these. But in the first one, you'll be heading into an area where you've got to kill bad guys, and all of a sudden, a bunch of people come running past you. You know, it's a bunch of citizens, right? And they'll come running the other way. And it gives me a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, oh, what do they know? I need to run with these guys. You know, that's kind of how I would be if I was a real warrior in the really real world, and a bunch of people come running and run away. I wouldn't continue on. I would back out and hide behind a tree and check out the situation, then come out, because that's how I am. But in this second one, there's like a lot of dead people. They're just there, like in the backgrounds and stuff. You'll see like dead people inside buildings, and they'll have like it looks like blood kind of just sitting there. Just this dark mood. This continues in the Golden Axe fantasy series. But we're back in Uria.
Yep.
So
more Uria.
Yeah, you got it. You're back in Uria again. Still trying to take out the bad guy who's been what they kidnapped the king and the daughter in the first one.
Yeah. Right? Isn't that the deal? You have to go rescue, because that's what you did back then. You rescued the
I mean,
princess.
You're not. Come on. I mean, you don't really give a crap. I mean, really, you're fighting for Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Yeah, he's the first person you run across. That's who you're really fighting for. You don't care if the princess is another castle. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. What about Alex?
Yeah.
Dark Gold.
Right.
Dark Gold.
Yeah. Dark Gold. That's it. Gold.
Has stolen the Golden Axe. We didn't even talk about that much. The Golden Axe, you're like right away when you're playing the first game, you're like, oh, I'm going to retrieve a Golden Axe, or the Axe Battler is carrying a Golden Axe. Nope. It's called Golden Axe because the Sega head at the time saw the game and saw the artwork and stuff, and they said, we're sending it out as Broad Axe.
Yeah.
And he said, nope.
No.
We're calling it Golden Axe because that axe right there is golden. And so they had to retcon that shit in there.
It's a little weird. Broad Axe is stupid.
Yeah.
That's a dumb thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Golden Axe at
It's
least
a
has
broad
some
axe.
mysticism and a little bit of like intrigue around it. If you just say Broad Axe, that's just a wide axe. Big deal.
Right.
You don't have entire fantasy kingdoms rising and falling over a broad axe. You do it over a golden axe. You know?
So you're definitely team Sega head.
Yeah, I am actually in this case.
I got you. Right.
Yeah, I'm back in the C-suite today. Brian, let's talk about a game that did not happen here. It was a Japanese follow-up called Golden Axe: The Revenge of Death Adder. You've mentioned it before. We're just going to take a brief look at it. It never made it here. I don't actually know why. Do we know why it didn't come here? What was the reasons?
Oh, I think Golden Axe 3 didn't make it here, but I think Golden Axe: The Revenge of Death Adder eventually did get a limited release in North America arcades. We're back at the arcades again. I
could have sworn it was Japan only, but maybe I might be smoking crack.
I think you might be thinking of 3. Let me double check though. I'm looking. You might be right. I'm not seeing where it says. Released by Sega in 1992. It's part of Golden Axe series.
The only stuff I could find on it
we'll put a pin in that.
All the videos had Japanese text everywhere, so I assume.
Okay, then there you go. Then you're probably right. It's Revenge of Death Adder. Let's move on.
I could be wrong. But look at this. You can be a lady with a horse body. You know, that's cool.
Lady with a horse body. Those have a name. It is.
I know they do. Hold on. I fight them in WoW all the time. What are they called? What do you call a guy with a horse body? Help me, chat.
What do you call a guy with a horse body? Is it a
horseman?
Is it a centaur?
Centaur. That's it. Centaur.
I think it's called a centaur.
My
but this time is it still called a centaur if it's a lady?
Yeah, they're still centaur. They have centaur ladies. That's how you get.
Okay.
When a man centaur and a lady centaur love each other very much, Brian, they have centaur babies.
Well, I wasn't sure if there was like a feminine form of centaur.
I don't think so.
Or if we just called them the race. Is it a race? Centaur?
Centaur. I think centaurs is like saying humans. Yeah, I think it's like a race.
Okay, centaurians.
Yeah, you could call her Centauria. I don't practice Centauria. I don't have no crystal balls. All right, there's that. The Golden Axe 3 Mega Drive edition. You're right about that. That is Japan only, and nobody else got that damn thing.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I want to praise Golden Axe: Revenge of Death Adder. By the way, I did play it a little bit, and you don't get to play as the original 3 characters. You got a whole selection of new characters, and it gets weird. Even though it brings a lot of the stuff back, you still think you're still fighting in the kingdom of urethra. And you're still after the Death Adder. But our original characters are not back here. We got a new cast of characters, a whole bunch more. This is the 32-bit arcade system, I believe. So there's a lot more going on screen, a lot more sound effects, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really goofy in some parts. Like
It's more akin what you would get with like if the Saturn had a port in the States. That's what that would look like. Would have been more like that.
Yeah. It was at that time. So yeah, the Centaur comes out, and one of the first things you do is you come across a very small trebuchet.
Sure.
It's like a little small. One of the warriors comes out, and he's got like this. It's not a trebuchet though. It's like a
ballista.
It is kind of like a trebuchet. Catapult.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, catapult. Another way of throwing stones, essentially.
You know what that reminds me of? You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Right here.
What's that?
Where is he? Hold on. I'm trying to find him. Where did I put him?
This is Ken Griffey.
No. Ken Griffey, shut up and sit down.
This is Ken.
Here it is. When you say trebuchets, I just think of Age of Empires. It's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, that's true. The trebuchets are so awesome in that game. But no, there's a catapult in this game. Like early on, one of the other faction brings out one, and it's just like the smallest little catapult. And it's kind of like, remember in the first one, you were not able to knock people off, mounts and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a centaur, right? Centaur is just weird. They would get a mount. Putting a horse on a horse. I don't know. So anyway, you get the catapult right away, and you get to shoot it back. But when you're playing as a centaur, she like has to kneel down with her front legs and her horse butt sticking up in the air, and it's just the most visually striking, amazing thing to see. Golden Axe: The Revenge of Death Adder at arcade, now playing in an emulation.
That's the only way you'll see it. But you're never going to see this in an arcade anymore. Yeah. You'd be lucky if you did, but I don't think you will.
Golden Axe 3.
Yep, Golden Axe 3. Look, Golden Axe 3 decided to have all new looking people too. Look at this. Their cover's like, hey, what if we had nobody look like they used to? And also that lady's going to explode. She's got her muscle tone's a problem. But look at this. Who's this guy?
They bring back our original 3 characters, right?
Yeah, but who's this chud on the side here? That ain't no dwarf, or is he? I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, that's not Thunder. I think, don't they bring in like in this one, they bring like in his cousin is like Gilius Thunderhead. This time is like something Thunder Rock or Rockhead or something weird.
I don't know. I love it. Here, let's let the video do some speaking here. I do have some footage of 3. This again was Japan only.
What's wrong with their abs?
What do you think? What do you think the deal is with no port here? Because this was a place where Golden Axe was a very popular series. So why didn't we?
I know. I probably because 93 Mega Drive. That's a good question. It's a mighty fine question. Was it just out of favor at that point in time? Were they not paying attention? They weren't looking, and they were heading towards, the Saturn and stuff. I don't know.
Also, I think you're kind of out of innovation when it comes to the side-scrolling beat 'em ups. There's nothing new to do. Not then anywhere. Right. There's been some nice improvements these days, but that's after 25 years of innovation and gameplay ideas and stuff. So their iteration on this series, I think it just kind of hit a wall. People were like, okay. Well,
yeah. One-on-one fighters are probably a little more popular at this time. And they did have a Golden Axe one-on-one fighter as well, but we didn't cover that, Dave, because we're talking about the side-scrolling beat 'em ups. We're not even talking about that. What was it? The Master System. We did talk about
the weird little
Warrior.
The weird little Zelda-like game.
Yeah, that was great.
That thing's pretty neat.
That was fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a good one.
So there's your look at the series. I think it's worth revisiting. I think there's more that if you didn't like it back in the day, I'll bet you like it more now. And if you liked it back in the day, you might be a little underwhelmed now, if that makes sense. It's just kind of. It's fine. It has its place in history. What they do with this remake thing they're working on is exciting to me. Like, I want to know what that is. Just imagine a 2.5D beautifully rendered, like really lush looking side-scrolling beat 'em up. They did it with Streets of Rage. They could do it here. So let's do it. Let's go. Get it on.
Yeah. Why not? Because Streets of Rage was built on the Golden Axe engine.
Yep.
So yeah, why not? And if you're looking at playing this too, you may want to check out what's called Golden Axe Returns. If you're familiar with the Open Bore project, which is the Beats of Rage, it's a modern reimagining by community members who love the Streets of Rage, and they've created a Golden Axe version of that, and it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And if you're wanting to play this, one great way to play it is the Sega Genesis Classic Collection, which is on is it the Classic Collection? Anyway, right now you can buy a lot of those old Sega games.
First games
on Steam.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a whole Steam collection, right? You can get all three.
There is, and Sega is delisting a bunch of those things in December. Sega delisting multiple Xbox games this December. Okay, maybe it's just the Xbox one. Maybe I read that wrong. Okay, yeah, but they're taking out a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're on, I guess the Xbox, I get that wrong. I thought it was on the Steam, but it looks like the Sonic, Crazy Taxi, Sega Genesis Classic Collection, and more, including Golden Axe. And
Wait,
if you're on,
are these coming
so
you're
you're on
saying
the
these
Xbox,
are coming
you better
off
get on it.
these are coming off of Game Pass, or are they coming out of the library? Like you can't even buy them.
Right. Let's see exactly what they say here. Sega has announced it will be delisting multiple retro titles, including Sega Genesis Mega Drive Classic Collection from the Xbox Digital Store.
Okay.
So I guess if you're buying them individually,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess you got to be worried about that.
Well, if you already own it, you own it, and you'll get it forever. If you want to go buy it now, you'll own it. If you miss out by the date, or if you don't do this before the date they pull them, then you will not be able to buy them there. That's what that means.
Right.
But if you already own it there, you can still download it and play it. It's fine.
There is one more thing that I was wanting to talk about. Do you remember the Sega Pico?
I remember.
So there was like this drawing pad thing. So everybody was doing like their own little drawing pad. So Sega had theirs. It was kind of like, have you ever seen it's like a board, but it's got like little dots on it, like in a grid shape, and you can draw on it.
It had a stylus that was connected with a wire and all that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so on Golden Axe 2, those graphics were created with a very similar technology, the Sega Pico technology. So those guys got to create those in that format. I was kind of amazed. I was trying to think of any time that I've heard where sprites were drawn for a video game this early on using that type of device.
Yeah, what they were trying to do, they were trying to take on, what was the name of is it Leapfrog? Yeah. Leapfrog was the big leader in like interactive kids education toys. And so you'd go to the store, you go to a Walmart, a toy center, or the toy aisle, and you'd see all these Leapfrog products that were basically interactive books, and they were sometimes tied to televisions, but at least, a lot of them had audio and just kind of other feedback. This was Sega's attempt to say, well, we should do that. And
we can do that.
I don't think it went very well. I don't think they did very well.
I don't think it went very far. People had it. The Mario Paint thing was the thing. Just, it was a little gimmicky. They thought they were heading in one direction, and they just didn't.
Yeah. The good news about, the good thing about Paint was just a straight up game, and there wasn't like a whole platform you had to invest in. You already had it for your other games. Whereas Sega was like, well, what if we sold you a whole thing, and then you had to buy new things for the whole thing? Like it was an all in kind of solution,
Yeah.
Didn't work out for him. All right.
Work out. It's fine though.
Let's move on to a game of our own making. We make a little game here on the show. Oh shit! I lost my place.
Do we now?
We do. It's called Guess My Game, and the chat room always thinks it's some form of choplifter, but it isn't.
It's a choplifter, and they have been right 1 out of the 143 episodes.
That's right. Every once in a while, we're tempted to sneak one in because of you guys.
Yeah,
but we should call it. We should say it's the Choplifter presents Guess My Game, and just like give it full sponsorship of this segment. But anyway, we're going to start with me. This is us playing audio from an old game. We give the platform and year, and then the other person has to try to guess what it is based on 4 possible answers. Brian, here is my audio. Let's see how you do. Oh, I'll tell you first. PC 1999. Okay.
Oh, 1990. Oh, we're going to party it's 1999?
If you want to. Absolutely, we can party like that. Right. Bring your nuke or whatever future drug you got. Okay, here we go.
Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden. He drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim.
I don't know, but I want to play this.
Production complete.
It's got cool voices.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Production complete. Listen to this one. Hold on, where is it? Right here.
Indigenous life form.
Indigenous life form. All right, those are your sounds.
Screw you, indigenous life forms. You're out of here.
Here are your options, all right? PC, 1999. A, Triangulum 2. All right?
Oh, part 2. So you're assuming that's going to be a second version. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
All right.
Triangulum 2. B, Ursa Major. Or is it C, Cyber Explorer? Or is it D, Alpha Centauri? So again, you've got Triangulum 2, Ursa Major, Cyber Explorer, or Alpha Centauri. Which do you think it is?
Alpha Centauri. Triangulum. Ursa Major. And Cyber Explorer. Okay, so I'm unsure. Triangulum 2, I have no idea what that is, but there's a part 2, which makes me concerned. I don't know this one. Ursa Major, Cyber Explorer, or Alpha Centauri. Was the Alpha Centauri, I believe it was D. I'm gonna give me the D, Scott. I believe
giving you
it's
the D?
gonna be Sid. Is it Sid Mears? Is that
Myers?
that who
Sid
did
Myers?
that builder?
Is that-
Myers?
Is that who you're asking about? Okay.
Sid
Is that your final answer?
Dark Sid Myers.
Yep, Dark Sid Myers. Mayers.
Give me the D.
You got it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It is actually Alpha Centauri. And it's a little bit of cheat today. So that's the only real one on here. Everything else is fake.
Okay.
And they're not fake.
Because I didn't.
They're not entirely fake.
Ursa
So let me
Major
explain.
said
So
real.
Triangulum 2 is an actual known galaxy in our universe. We know about it. We know where it is.
Okay. Smart.
Ursa Major, same thing. And or is one that we know about. Obviously, Alpha Centauri, another, and I think it's our closest neighbor in terms of galaxies in our universe. Cyber Explorer made that shit right up, dude. Right up. Just made it up.
There is a game called Triangulum.
Is
I just
there?
looked it up.
Oh.
Triangulum. There is. It's
I'm not
on
surprised.
Steam, and it is clicking on blue triangle. It's a minimalist logic puzzle game. Disperse points among different types of triangles to maximize your score.
Good Lord.
Maximize your score.
Maximize the score.
Triangulum. You'd be
All right.
good at naming video games, Scott.
I know. It wouldn't be bad. Those all sound like future-y little city builders, so that's why I did it. Brian, let's get to yours. This is Arcade 1991, so we're both in the arcade today. Or no, I was a PC. You're arcade.
All right.
Let's find out what your sound is. It sounds like a Capcom game.
Interesting.
But I don't think
this
it's
is
not
from the
like
arcade.
Yeah.
Arcade.
Yeah.
1991.
Okay.
I will give you that it is in the vein of what we looked at today, which is kind of that fantasy, hack and slash, beat 'em up kind of thing. Ready for some choices?
Do it.
All right. Is it A, Knights of the Round?
Okay.
And by the way, these are all real game names.
Okay.
They're not star constellations.
Okay.
A, Knights of the Round. B, King of Dragons.
Yeah.
C, Magic Sword. Or D, Golden Axe 2.
Well, it's definitely not
Which
Golden
Scott
Axe
didn't play.
2, so F that.
No.
It's not. I don't think it's Knights of the Round.
Knights of the Round.
Kind of remember Magic Sword. There was also a D&D game back then, but I don't remember what it was called. But it was similar. It was a side-scrolling D&D game. It was based on the D&D property. It wasn't very D&D-like.
Gotcha.
But, I'll go with Magic Sword. That's my answer.
Gonna give me the C, Magic Sword. Scott, give yourself one of these.
Oh, that's bad. What is it?
I feel like you were kind of floating around it, but it's King of Dragons, and you said it was a Capcom. It sounded Capcom. Guess what? The King of Dragons Capcom game.
Totally
I think so
Capcom
was this other
game?
one too.
Boo.
Yeah, man, you nailed it. Oh, you got part of it. I'll give you a 0.5 on that.
Okay, I can have a little something on the back
Yeah,
end
you
there.
have a little something, except for recognition.
Well, that's not fair to give me recognition for this terrible answer I gave. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Well, that's all right. That means that you win, I lose. That's what today is. Okay.
Yeah.
Today is you win.
But the listener won.
Well, they always win, but
that and the fact I could hear them yelling
yeah,
in their cars and on their commutes to work.
Yeah, like they do.
King of Dragons, it's me. Idiot.
Well, there you have it. May we all enjoy that. Moving on. Let's get to the Welcome to Retro. That's right, everybody. Something brand new has joined the ranks of retro games. And the game is Halo 2. Yeah, that's right. November 9th, 2004. That's tomorrow. 20 years since Halo 2 has been part of your
not
life.
even Halo 1. It's worse. It's the sequel, which is great.
Mhm.
But 20 years old as of tomorrow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty cool, though.
And to celebrate, they're going to give us the E3 version of that on Steam for free for everybody to play.
Nice.
I think tomorrow. So yeah, if you're checking it out,
I will check that out.
Be sure to play that original Halo 2 for free.
I remember when they announced it, they had all this secrecy around the E3 showing that year. And it was like the big thing everybody looked forward to. And the presentation was so good that I think like pre-orders went through the roof or something. It was it had some crazy effect. Because the show, what they showed at E3 was really good that year, I remember. Anyway, Halo 2, hell of a game. And now it's 20 years old. so there you go.
That was
it was a long time ago, Brian.
It turns out that the greatest villain is time.
It was time was calling from inside the house the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Check it out.
Welcome to the treasure room.
It's time for some feedback from you folks. 801-471-0462 is the text line, and playretroshow@gmail.com is our email address. Here is a text from an anonymous listener who says, you mentioned reading the book or the new book Play Nice on Play Retro last week. That's the Blizzard tell-all thing. Have you read The WoW Diary by John Statz that came out a few years ago? I thought it was interesting to learn about those early days in WoW and how it came to be. I interviewed him once on The Instance, and that was years ago, but I was about the time he published the book, and he had reached out to me and we talked a little bit. He seemed like a nice guy. So my memory of the details are low, but I did read that then. But I know I'm conflating stuff that I read there with Play Nice and other stuff I've read. So kind of hard to say, but it does match up from what I remember, like what his retelling of things, even though his retelling is much more on the ground kind of technical level, because he was right in the thick of that part of it, whereas Play Nice is a little bit more like from business all the way down and everything in between and publishers and money, and like it's a more broad look, whereas the WoW Diary was a little bit more succinct. But yeah, it's good stuff. Seek it out if you haven't read it. Brian, there's another one from Tyler. He says, for you fine folks that play retro, it's probably not worth mentioning, but I'm going to mention it anyway. He says, years ago, Uwe Boll made a Postal movie. Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't see it, but I remember.
I watched some of it.
Did you?
I watched a little bit of it before we did the show. I meant to mention it during episode. Tyler, yes.
Is it the worst? Is it as bad as I assume it is? I'm sure it's terrible, right? It's got to be bad.
Uwe Boll makes some really movies.
Yeah. There's stuff on film. We'll say that. Yeah. There's stuff put to film. We won't say it's good. We'll never say it's good, but it's there.
But Tyler continues.
Yeah, he goes on and says it was a tasteless and tactless as you expect it to be, and leaned more into shock humor than anything. All I really remember is that it opened with a joke about September 11th. Oh my Lord.
Too close to, and at that point, way too close to.
Oh, way too close. That was right up there. It says also, I can't remember if it was TMS or Play Retro, but Brian mentioned an Alf documentary he watched. Ooh. If you haven't seen the 1998 film Permanent Midnight, it's worth a watch. It's about Jerry Stahl, who is known for writing a variety of shows, including Alf. A bored janitor avoiding his actual work called Tyler is how he signed it.
I have not heard of Permanent Midnight. I'll search that right now.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that. You know,
but yeah, Tyler's talking about I had mentioned, I believe it was on TMS. I was talking about the Alf documentary, and his documentary is very loose and
it's a YouTube
because
thing, right?
It was a YouTube video,
Yeah.
right? It was a YouTube video.
Not that they can't have
and
good
they were-
documentaries on YouTube. They're good. There's good stuff on there. It's just that this isn't maybe one of those. You know,
No, it wasn't like highly organized like you would expect a documentary with a lot of great interviews. It's more like, here's some interviews that were in other things, and this is what was going on at the time. And we learned that the humans were not happy. The human actors were not happy performing on screen with scene stealing puppets and having to deal with all the dangers that are involved with that. The puppet people, the people who were doing the Alf puppet and stuff, they were like, yeah, this is how puppets work. And the actors were like, yeah, we don't care for it. What am I on Sesame Street?
yeah, but they
didn't care
signed a
for it,
contract. What they expect? Like a little tiny guy with a suit on? Like what do they want? The
I don't know.
actors?
I don't think they knew what to expect. This was the 80s. I mean, their only experience with puppets was probably, watching the Muppets, and it looks great on screen, but the realities of the technical feat that is shooting puppets is really difficult. Is grueling. It takes a really long time. Lots of standing around and waiting. You have to be a special actor to really do it.
Well, I should watch both that and this thing because I'm not an Alf fan, but I'm interested in this stuff around it.
The Uwe Boll thing you can skip. That Postal movie, yeah. I watched like 15 minutes of it, like engaged, and then I scrubbed through the rest of it.
The only one I saw was it In the Name of the King or The Name of the King, the one that was based on Dungeon Siege. And it had Jason Statham was in it, and I don't know how they talked him into it. It's so freaking bad. It's so bad.
Right.
Like, how do you? It must be just like these are bill-paying movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Statham's like, okay, fine. If this will pay off my fourth car, I guess I'll do it. And then he goes and he does it. Well, anyway, thank you for the messages, you guys. Keep those coming. 801-471-0462 is that number. You can text it or voicemail it. Whatever you feel like doing. Quick note that we have a cool website called retrogib.com, and you can go over there and check out servers like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Unreal Tournament 99, 04, Retro Achievements Info, and more. That's retrogib.com or retrogib.
Yes.
This is how you're supposed to say it.
The Gibbs.
Yeah.
The Gibbs.
Gib, not Jib. Jib is stupid.
Yeah, and pretty soon we'll have to throw up a thanks for gibbing.
Thanks for Gibbs.
Yeah, we'll have to have like a Thanksgiving
Ooh,
celebration.
I like that. Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thanksgiving. We need a Thanksgiving this year.
We could do something cool with that. I don't know what. I have no time for anything, so why am I thinking about it? Anyway, there's that. Our next discussion will be all about Donkey Kong Country, a game I swear we've talked
already
about.
done that.
I swear we had. Brian suggested it. We're 29 years later. Brian suggested it, and my first instinct was to go, wait, we have absolutely covered that game and that series. And he's like, nope. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I went and did all this like backtracking. The closest I can come to why I thought we did is I streamed a bunch of Donkey Kong Country live and died in a minecart area about 500,000 times and swore a lot. And I think that burned into me thinking that we must have done a whole episode on it.
I don't know if there's a missing episode somewhere, but I went through the podcast list. I went through all of our show notes. I found nothing in reference to Donkey Kong Country. And it's 29 years later, and just this past week, a new Donkey Kong Country 2 cheat code has been discovered.
What?
And I was like, what a perfect time for us to actually do Donkey Kong like we're supposed to.
Is the cheat code just to get the F out of the minecart level as fast as possible? Because that'd be great. I would use that cheat code.
We're gonna find out this next week on the Play Retro Show.
Game was hard, man.
Donkey Kong Country.
Game was hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but it was so impressive.
Get to it. Also, the third game with the girl with the ponytail. What's that one called? Just 3?
Yeah.
Is it just called 3?
Yeah, Donkey Kong 3. It's called Donkey Kong Country
3.
More 3. Kart race.
Work. Anyway, whatever that one is, that is the unsung best one of the 3, and I will fight you on that.
Yeah. Should Donkey Kongs have, blonde hair and ponytails? Why not?
Sure. Diddy Kongs can have short, dumb hats, and they can fly. They can fly, or whatever they do. What does he do in the?
They can fly. They can fly.
And that's
Make
the
it
other.
fly.
That's the other thing we may have done is I may have mixed it up with the time we talked about Diddy
Diddy
Kong
Kong.
Racing. So I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, get your bananas and your barrels and all that shit ready because we are going to watch that game a lot.
When are
and
we
play
gonna
it a
do?
bunch.
We're gonna do that, but as soon as I find me some Donkey Kong drums, you know what I'm talking about?
bongos,
that
yeah.
peripheral, the Donkey Kong.
Yeah, the bongos.
Yeah, the bongo things. We're
Oh
gonna
my
cover
gosh,
that
I'm
game.
shocked you don't already have those.
I don't know how I don't have any. I haven't seen any in the wild. I don't know if people are hoarding them. There's some weirdo.
We had a
like
pair.
the guy who's collecting all the VHS speed tapes. Go ahead. What?
We had a pair here for a long time.
We had a pair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
pair of the
yeah.
bongos.
I've seen them a million times too. But I've
Yeah.
never.
We had the bongo, or we had the. They worked with that other game that was popular, Bongo Santeria or whatever it was called. What was that called?
Oh, yeah. Bongo Santeria.
No, it was like a little monkey character, and you had
Right.
bongos. It was like a rhythm game. Someone remind me what that is. I'm pretty sure those worked together. Those bongo. The bongo worked for
Right.
either game. If I'm
They
not.
had to. I mean, they couldn't just have those giant novelty controller and not have something.
You got to
right?
have more than one game for your novelty controllers.
Yeah.
You have to, or else
Yeah,
you are
come on.
wasting your money and time. So learn from Brian and I. Anyway, that'll be next time. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/playretro. We have a returning sub from Seb.
Oh.
He is returning sub Seb. And then we have
Welcome back, Seb.
Thanks, Seb. We missed you. And then we got Eric Valdez, who is new.
Oh yeah.
Named after the giant tanker full of oil that spilled and killed all those poor seals and stuff. No, I
That's
don't know.
the D's. You're thinking of D's.
Valdez.
Yeah.
Like Reese's Pieces. I get it.
Reese's PC.
Anyway, they are among many cool people who now get no commercials or ads of any kind, pre-show content every week, and other monthly benefits. Sign up today and get more, all right? And support your favorite retro gaming show. Do that too. PlayRetroShow@gmail.com. PlayRetroShow. What else? Oh, frogpants.com/PlayRetro is our website. And leave us reviews wherever you get your podcast because that stuff's awesome. I was going to tell you our Twitter address, but F that place. I have the funniest story to tell you about Twitter. They're so weird, dude. You know what? I'll tell the story really quick here. Do you want to hear this really fast? This
Do
is
it.
really weird. I
Give
don't have
me
all
the post. Yeah, give me it.
I don't have all the details yet, but here's where we're at. I go there yesterday,
Right.
and I get a message. First thing I do when I log in. And the message says, and this is just out of nowhere, it says, our terms of service require everyone who uses X to be 13 or older. And we have determined that you do not meet the minimum age requirement at the time this account was created.
Oh, that's low. Were
So
they
it
calling
says-
you a child?
So then it gave me a form to submit, like, you know, honestly, I just kind of want to shut it down, but I wanted to do it on my own terms. I don't want them to do it. It's like, this is dumb. So I went through the process, verifying identity and all that. And now they send me a string of emails. First one said, your thing wasn't clear enough. Do not forge documents. Send us the real ones.
What?
I know.
Send us the real one.
I know. It is an actual support thing at X. I confirmed all this. So I'm like, either you got robots who can't see. That's entirely possible, right? It could be AI or something. But
Right.
so I sent them new ones and a third video of me saying, here it is, and here's my voice, and this is my face, and you know, if you need any help at all, this is all. And now I get nothing but replies from them that show nothing. It's just blank replies in email. And every time I say, hey, your email was blank, can you resend it? They send another blank one. And then I'll send a screenshot of the blank email, and then they'll send me another blank email in reply. And this is like 7 emails in, this is happening. So here's my thinking, Brian. If they don't get there,
Yeah.
I swear it's cat hair and bamboo over there. They're running the place on
Yeah.
steam and who knows how many hot farts. That's all that's going on. If they can't figure it out, fine. It's locked. You think I'm 12? Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why am I bothering
Oh my
with
God.
you psychopaths?
This is not. I wonder if it's the same company because I had had kind of a weird, similar experience with Verizon's fraud this week because our SIM card went bad on one of our phones and we had a call, and they wanted to know our PIN number, and I was like, I don't know. So I was like, they said just call and you just try a couple of times and maybe just ask you different questions. Like, okay, so I called the first time and I was like, I don't know what the PIN number is, like 7777. I forget what I said.
Yeah.
And they said, and like the guy yelled at me and said, fraud, like he was yelling it into the thing out
Whoa.
into the ether. Fraud. And he hung up on me. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I am not calling back. I said, I will go up to AT&T. I am not dealing with that again. Some weirdo
We're in
yelling fraud at me.
We're in a dark timeline. We're in a dark timeline. This is all effed. Like, none of
Yeah.
this should be happening that way. I don't get it. And no, I
That
just
is
went and
weird.
checked. It's still
Weird.
locked. It says, it says the same message. I'm under 12. So I don't know if it's ever coming back. And if I'm honest, I was going there to shut it down. I
It's
really was.
fine.
Maybe
It's
they know
fine if
I
it's
was.
not it.
Maybe they know. I was on my way to kill it. So now they're just being
Man,
dicks.
the mass exodus that is happening right now, which is fine. If you want to stay at Twitter X, fine. If you want to go somewhere else, fine. But yeah, there's plenty of places now. It wasn't always true, but now there's plenty of places you can go.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of places.
So I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's just a dumb ending to a story that's been like, how dumb is it?
But
We
such an
determined you're
appropriate
12. How did that mean somebody reported me for being too young or something? I don't know.
I'm curious about. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming because
I wish I was 12 again. I'd love to be 12 again. I'd do a lot of things different. First of all,
12.
I'd throw $1,000 at Apple in 1997 is what I'd do. I'd have a lot of money right now. I'd be living off that money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. We hope you've enjoyed your time here because I know that we have. And if you haven't, well, then I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you this. We'll be back next week. Between now and then, go play something retro for me, for Brian, for all of you. We'll see you next time.
Oh, looks like someone just got their ears caught in the audio cookie jar. It's okay. You can have another, and another after that at frogpants.com.
His mighty serious fun.
Mighty serious fun.